Before you turn away and close that door forever, there's one simple thing you can do that will change his world completely. This isn't about playing games. This is about brain science, about leaving a mark on his heart that time can't erase. Have you ever wondered why some people leave your life but somehow live in your thoughts forever while others just disappear like they were never there? That's not luck. That's psychology. And today I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Most women make the same mistake when it's time to say goodbye. They cry, they beg, they try to explain everything, and they think this will make him remember them. But here's the truth. All of that actually makes it easier for him to forget you. There's another way though, a way that's backed by science that goes straight to the memory center of his brain. Do this one thing and he won't just think about you tomorrow. He'll think about you next week, next month, maybe even years from now. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say, how to act, and the way to leave that will make you stick in his mind forever. This isn't about tricks. It's about understanding how the human brain works and using that knowledge to your advantage. Stay with me because once you learn this secret, you'll never be forgotten again. Saying goodbye isn't just about words. It's an emotional moment that hits the brain like lightning. When someone important is about to leave, the mind goes crazy trying to hold on to everything. And here's something most people don't know. When you're about to walk away, he feels it way deeper than he shows. Men learn to hide their feelings, to act tough to keep it together. But inside, something real is happening. His brain floods with stress chemicals, making that moment burn into his memory. Right then, his mind focuses completely on you, trying to save every detail, every word, every feeling before you're gone. But here's the interesting part. The memory he keeps isn't based on how long you were together. It's based on that final moment you share. The brain remembers peak emotions. So if your goodbye is messy and desperate, full of crying and begging, that memory becomes heavy and painful, something his mind wants to push away. But if your goodbye is calm, strong, and surprising, you create something different. You make him confused. He starts asking questions he can't answer. Why didn't she fight harder? Why did she leave so easily? Does she know something I don't? That confusion pulls him into deep thinking, and thinking creates wanting. The more he wonders about you, the more space you take up in his head. When someone leaves without drama, without falling apart, they create mystery. And mystery grows into regret. Regret becomes memory that plays over and over like a song you can't get out of your head. Most people think making someone remember you means holding on tight. But the truth is different. It's the quiet, controlled goodbye that cuts deeper than any emotional scene. Humans want what feels rare, what feels hard to get. When you become the woman who walked away without breaking down, you become valuable. Rare things are always worth more. So if you thin, he won't care when you leave. Think again. Goodbyes are powerful moments, more powerful than most people understand. Handle it right, and you don't just leave. You leave a mark he can never erase. Now let's talk about something most people never figure out. The emotional buttons that make you completely unforgettable. When you know how to push the right feelings at the right time, you don't chase anyone. They chase you. Attraction isn't really about how you look or even chemistry. Deep down, attraction is about emotional impact, how you make someone feel when you're there, and more importantly, when you're not. The human brain holds on to emotional highs, those special moments when feelings are intense, when something moves us deep inside. If you can create those moments on purpose, you become someone his mind can't let go of. One of the strongest triggers is not knowing. Most people think giving constant attention keeps someone close, but that's wrong. When you step back a little, when you leave some mystery, his brain starts filling in the gaps. He wonders where you are, what you're doing, why you're not always reaching for him. That wondering creates curiosity, and curiosity creates obsession. Another trigger is being different. People remember moments that break the pattern. If everyone else in his life acts predictably, but you stay calm when he expects drama, show strength when he expects weakness, or stay graceful when he expects tears, you stand out. That difference gets burned into his memory because you're not what his mind expected. Then there's emotional connection, linking powerful feelings directly to yourself. If you create experiences that bring joy, excitement, or even sweet sadness, his brain connects those feelings to you. When you leave, he doesn't just miss you, he misses how you made him feel. Here's the secret. People don't become obsessed with others because of what they see. They become obsessed because of how someone makes them feel alive, wanted, and understood. If you can stir up deep emotional reactions through mystery, being different, or unforgettable moments, you skip right past logic and connect with the part of his brain that forms deep attachments. That's why some goodbyes hurt more than others. It's not the goodbye itself that stays. It's the emotional energy behind it. When you learn to trigger the right emotions, you become irresistible. Not because you're trying harder, but because his mind won't release you. And in just a moment, I'm going to share one powerful sentence you can say before you walk away. One that plants you so deep in his thoughts, he'll replay it over and over, unable to forget you. Missing someone isn't just about feelings, it's in chemistry. When someone disappears from our daily life, our brain doesn't just let go, it fights to hold on. And here's why. The human mind craves emotional routine. When you suddenly remove yourself from his world, you're breaking the rhythm his brain got used to. That break creates an empty space, and the brain hates empty spaces. It wants to fill them. At first, he might try to distract himself, scrolling his phone, hanging with friends, acting like everything's fine. But under the surface, something powerful is happening. His dopamine drops. Dopamine is the brain's reward chemical tied to pleasure and wanting. When you were around, he got regular emotional hits from your presence, your attention, your energy. Once you're gone, his brain still expects those hits, but they're not there. That emptiness creates longing. Here's what's fascinating. The mind starts replaying the best emotional moments on repeat. Every laugh, every deep talk, every small thing you did together gets stored in his memory center. And the stronger the emotions tied to those memories, the stickier they become. That's why one night together, one meaningful goodbye, or even a simple touch can haunt someone for years. And then there's the scarcity effect. Humans always value what feels rare, what feels just out of reach. When you're no longer available, your worth goes up in his subconscious mind. Not because you changed, but because his access to you did. That distance triggers a brain mechanism that makes him think more about what he no longer has. But here's where most people mess up. They try to force someone to miss them by texting too much, explaining everything, or begging for attention. That doesn't work. It backfires. The brain doesn't miss what it can still easily get. If you want him to truly feel your absence, you have to create space. Space creates curiosity. Curiosity triggers emotional tension, and tension makes his brain work overtime, searching for answers, searching for you. This is why missing someone is less about time spent together and more about the empty space left behind. The right goodbye, calm, controlled, and confident, leaves an empty space that his mind can't ignore. And in just a moment, I'll share one powerful line you can use at the right time. A sentence so strong that once you say it, his thoughts will keep coming back to you no matter how hard he tries to move on. Sometimes one sentence can stay with someone long after you're gone. It echoes in their mind, plays on repeat, and keeps them wondering what you really meant. Words have power, especially when they leave room for the imagination to work. And when you understand psychology, you can choose a sentence so powerful that it haunts his thoughts long after you walk away. Here it is. I really hope someday you'll realize what you're giving up. Simple, calm, controlled, but powerful. This line works because it doesn't beg, it doesn't blame, and it doesn't explain everything. It creates curiosity and emotional tension, two of the strongest psychological triggers in human relationships. The moment You say it, his mind immediately starts searching for meaning. What am I giving up? How much did she really mean to me? Am I making a mistake? That questioning leads to deep thinking, and deep thinking leads to obsession. The human brain is built to seek answers. And when you give a sentence like this, you don't give him that answer. You don't follow up with explanations. You don't try to prove yourself. You leave quietly. And by doing that, you force his thoughts to fill in the blanks. The more his mind works to understand, the deeper the emotional mark becomes. The key is how you say it. You don't cry, you don't yell, you don't look for his reaction. You say it quietly, almost like you didn't mean for him to hear it. Then you walk away. That quiet confidence makes him see you differently, stronger, more sure of yourself, more valuable than he thought. And here's the hidden power. You're flipping the emotional script. Right now, he thinks you're the one who feels the loss. But when you say that sentence with calm certainty, you plant doubt that grows over time. Doubt becomes reflection. Reflection becomes regret. And regret is the emotion he can't escape from. The best part is you don't need to force him to think about you. His own mind will do that work for you. That single sentence becomes an echo, a quiet reminder of what he had, what he thought he understood, and what he'll slowly realize he might never find again. And in a moment, I'll show you the common mistakes most people make before saying goodbye. The behaviors that weaken your impact, hurt your value, and make you easier to forget. Once you understand these, you'll know exactly what not to do if you want to stay unforgettable. Before you walk away, before you say that final goodbye, there are mistakes you absolutely cannot make. These mistakes don't just weaken your impact, they make it much easier for him to move on and forget you existed. The first mistake is asking for validation. When emotions are high, it's natural to want answers, to ask him why, to make him explain himself, to beg him to see your worth. But here's the hard truth. The moment you start asking for validation, you give away your power. Instead of creating mystery, you create clarity, and clarity kills curiosity. The less you explain, the more he wonders. The second mistake is letting anger take control of your goodbye. Explosive emotions might feel good in the moment, but they leave a heavy negative mark. If your last moment together is full of yelling, blame, or accusations, his brain will connect you with stress, and we're programmed to avoid what stresses us out. Calmness, though, leaves a sense of unfinished business. That's what stays. The third mistake is explaining too much about your feelings. You might think that pouring your heart out will make him understand your pain, but really it makes you predictable. Being predictable reduces your emotional impact. A short, controlled goodbye creates mystery, and mystery is what keeps someone thinking about you. The fourth mistake is trying to make him jealous. So many people think that showing they've moved on right away will create regret, but fake jealousy rarely works. If it's obvious you're doing it just to get a reaction, it shows desperation, not strength. Real power is in silence, not in putties. None on a show. And finally, the fifth mistake is losing control of your emotions. Crying uncontrollably, holding on, or refusing to leave gives him the emotional release he secretly wants. It shows that you've given him all your power. Instead, when you leave with grace, control, and quiet confidence, you plant doubt. That doubt grows into curiosity. That curiosity becomes longing. Remember this, your final goodbye is the emotional picture his mind will replay again and again. If you make it messy, painful, and chaotic, his brain will naturally try to erase it. But if you make it graceful, controlled, and powerful, it becomes unforgettable. In just a moment, I'll walk you through a step-by-step goodbye method, a proven psychological approach that makes sure you leave the deepest possible mark, one he won't be able to shake no matter how much time goes by. Regret doesn't just happen, it's created. If you want him to regret losing you, you can't force it with desperate calls, endless texts, or emotional breakdowns. Regret is born when someone realizes the true value of what they lost. And that realization only comes when you create the right emotional conditions. The first step is complete silence. It's one of the most powerful tools you have. When you disappear from his world, when you stop chasing, texting, explaining, complaining and begging, you create space. And space makes him uncomfortable because he suddenly feels the absence of your energy, your attention, your presence. The human brain is programmed to want what's no longer easily available. By pulling back, you let him experience the empty space you leave behind. The second step is becoming your best self. While he expects you to be broken and stuck, you quietly work on becoming the best version of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. You invest in your happiness, your goals, your passions. When he sees you thriving without him, it triggers a psychological shift. His brain goes from, I lost her, to, I may never find someone like her again. That's where regret starts. The third step is unexpected calmness. People expect breakups to be messy. They expect tears, fights, and emotional chaos. But when you stay calm, graceful, and controlled, you break his expectations. And because your reaction doesn't match what he expected, it sticks in his mind. You become the one who was different, the one who walked away without losing herself. The fourth step is real scarcity. Stop giving him emotional access to you. No late night messages, no constant updates, no desperate attempts to prove your worth. The less available you are, the more valuable you become in his subconscious mind. Scarcity creates desire, and desire is what builds regret. And finally, the most important step is letting time do its work. Regret rarely hits right away. At first, he might feel relieved, but as days become weeks and weeks become months, those quiet moments catch up with him. He starts remembering the little things, the things he took for granted, the things he thought would always be there. And when he realizes they're gone, regret sets in deep and heavy. This isn't about manipulation. It's about putting focus back on yourself and letting your actions speak louder than your emotions. Because when you take back your power, when you walk away with quiet strength, you stop chasing his attention. And that's exactly when he starts chasing yours. In the next part, I'll share a step-by-step goodbye method, a proven way to create an emotional mark so powerful that he'll think about you long after you've walked away. Saying goodbye is one of the most powerful moments in any relationship. It's the final picture his mind will carry of you. And if you handle it right, it becomes a memory he can't let go of. This step-by-step method isn't about manipulation. It's about leaving with grace, strength, and mystery, so your presence continues to echo long after you've walked away. Step 1. Control your energy. Before you say anything, center yourself. Take a deep breath. Let go of the anger, the pain, the desperation. If your energy is chaotic, he will feel relief when you're gone. But when your energy is calm and steady, you leave him unsettled. His brain expects tears and drama. When it doesn't come, he feels off balance. That imbalance keeps you in his thoughts. Step 2, keep your words short. Less is always more. The more you explain, justify, or defend yourself, the easier it is for him to close the book on you. Instead, keep it brief, meaningful, and controlled. Say only what matters. No over-explaining, no long emotional speeches. Mystery creates lasting memory. Step 3, use the power sentence. Remember the line from earlier. I really hope someday you'll realize what you're giving up. Say it softly, without anger or sadness. This line triggers deep curiosity and regret because it suggests meaning without fully showing it. It makes his mind work overtime, replaying your words over and over. Step 4, walk away with grace. How you leave is as important as what you say. No hesitation, no looking back, no checking for his reaction. You walk away with quiet confidence. That silence speaks louder than any words could. It signals strength. It tells his subconscious mind, she doesn't need me. She knows her worth. That kind of energy sticks. Step 5, disappear completely. This is where most people fail. They say a strong goodbye, but then they keep texting, calling, checking in. That destroys the impact. You have to stay silent no matter how hard it feels. Space is what makes the mind crave. Distance creates longing, and longing creates obsession. When you follow these steps, your goodbye becomes more than just words. It becomes an emotional trigger. Every time he thinks about you, he'll remember how you carried yourself, how you didn't fall apart, and that one sentence he can't stop replaying in his head. And next, I'll share my final tips and powerful takeaways to make sure that when you leave behind something he can't erase, a memory so deeply rooted that he'll never truly stop thinking about you. You've made it this far, and now you know the secret. Being unforgettable isn't about begging, chasing, or proving your worth. It's about how you carry yourself, the energy you leave behind, and the way you make someone feel even when you're not there. If you want to leave a mark that lasts, here are the final tips that bring everything together. First, silence is your superpower. After you've said your goodbye, resist every urge to check in, explain yourself, or look for validation. The more space you create, the louder your absence becomes. When he can't reach you, his mind starts working overtime, replaying memories, analyzing every word, and wondering if he made the right choice. Second, live like you're already free. Pour your energy into yours. Your growth, your passions, your happiness. Confidence is magnetic, and nothing triggers longing and regret more than seeing you thrive without him. The more you shine, the more his subconscious connects that shine to the moment he let you go. Third, control the emotional story you leave behind. People don't remember every detail. They remember the feeling you gave them in your final moments together. When you leave calm, strong, and graceful, you mark yourself as someone rare, someone valuable, someone who can't be replaced. That emotional contrast, strength when weakness is expected, makes you unforgettable. Fourth, never fight for someone who isn't fighting for you. The more you try to force someone to stay, the easier it is for them to let you go. But when you respect yourself enough to walk away with quiet dignity, you shift the balance of power. It signals strength, self-worth, and emotional independence, qualities that naturally trigger admiration and, yes, regret. Fifth, understand that your worth isn't determined by his choice. Whether he recognizes your value or not doesn't change what you bring to the table. When you truly believe this, it shows in how you carry yourself. That inner certainty becomes magnetic. It makes people wonder what they're missing. Sixth, focus on your own healing and growth. Use this time to reconnect with yourself. Pursue goals you put on hold. Strengthen other relationships. When you genuinely invest in your own life, you naturally become less available and more interesting. This isn't a strategy. It's just what happens when you prioritize yourself. And finally, trust the process. Missing someone doesn't happen overnight. Regret doesn't hit the moment you walk away. It builds slowly, piece by piece, as silence settles